So Wayne, tell me about what it's been like what it's been like for you working with advocates.
I love advocates so much. They make my job so much easier, and I wish every police officer realized that. So I've started, I have a rule. As soon as I get a report of a sexual assault, before I talk to that person or bring them in for an interview, I call my local advocate, and they come to the first interview with me every time. It makes it go so much smoother. They are very seldom are they called as a witness in court. They can't really be subpoenaed. So they're there simply to support my survivor, which frees me up. And my one main job is to be an impartial gatherer of facts. I'm just there to find out the who, what, when, why, where, all the details that I need to make the report. I'm there to get bed sheets and clothes and evidence, and it allows me to focus on that while the advocate spends their time, like in your situation, they walk them through resources, courses of action. It makes my job so much easier, and I'm very passionate about it. And I tell every law enforcement agency that I interact with, call the advocate first, make them part of your first contact. It just goes so much smoother.
What do you think are some of the
To a
reasons?
survivor who is in that situation you were so many years ago, where they are looking for help. They've got friends, they've got family, they have Google, they have their phone, they have a lot of different ways to look for help. And it can be overwhelming and intimidating. What would you say to somebody who's just sort of there on the fence? They don't know where to go. Where would you start?
I think I would describe the level of expertise that an advocate has about all of the things that you don't know about as being really, really helpful. And even if you have, friends or people in your life who are supporting you, they don't necessarily know the intricacies of any of the systems that you might be encountering
So true.
as a survivor. And so I think one of the biggest values is the advocate's expertise
Right.
in being able to explain, here are the things that are going to happen. Here are in the next couple of days, these are the things that are going to happen. And that's really, I think, critical, because that's what you need in that time, is for someone to not give you the here are the 85,000 things that could happen between now and when your case goes to court, right?
years.
It's also about them sort of helping survivors kind of take it one step at a time.
Right.
And really, I just think they know what is going to happen when you go to the courthouse to file for a protection from abuse order. They know what's going to happen when they call you and say, I have someone who wants to make a report.
Right.
They can help me understand what's going to happen so that I can make a well-informed decision about what's going to be best for me
So true.
in the time.
They're battle tested, and they've been to all the status hearings and all and they understand the frustration. And sometimes I've noticed it's much easier for my survivor to hear that from my advocate.
Yeah.
Like, to set their expectations at a realistic level. That doesn't sound so good coming from the cop in the room. It sounds
Totally.
cold. It sounds like
Absolutely.
you don't care. And I can just be that soft, I believe you. I'm gathering your story. I'm gathering the facts. You did a great job tonight. Stuff like that. And the advocate's there to sort of give them maybe the harder truths that they need to be prepared for.
Yeah, and I
Realities.
think that's so important, right? Because as a survivor who had not really interacted with any of those systems before, you have no
Yeah.
idea what you might be getting yourself into, right? And so to have someone who can be honest with you about your expectations and just sort of walk you through all of the things.
Yeah.
Because you don't know until you're either doing the work or you're someone who's involved in this
Yeah.
in the process.
And it's amazing that because we know already sort of how the court system works and the criminal justice system works, it's great in your position, I would imagine, to also have the Title IX option to tell them about, because it's really, I feel, as a safety net to things that can't really or aren't a good fit for the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that's right on. I think survivors should have more options,
Yeah.
right? And oftentimes, all of those things that happen that we know because of our experience are never going to get past the the district attorney's office, right? To be able to have other ways to either hold people accountable and or create safety
Right.
for survivors, I think is really important.
Because justice can look different to different people. So I don't assume every interview is different. I don't assume their coping skills or mechanisms. I don't assume what justice means to them or what they're looking for. And so advocates really help with that part too.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important question, right? Is to ask, what do you hope the outcome is going to be? Right? Because for some people, it's like, I just want them to apologize.
Yeah.
And
Right.
like, is there a way to make that happen? And so
Yeah.
I think the Title IX work allows a little more flexibility in that. Like, we can get creative about how we
Yeah,
provide people with those things.
it's awesome.